Hey awesome fans, me Megashark, and today I'm reacting to my story animated. That's the stories that they do. Me versus my sister the monster. So let's see what's all about.
It's hard
Let's
to
get
pinpoint
to it.
exactly when my parents knew that I was special. It could be when I said my first word at 5 months old, when I started reading by the time I was 3, or when I solved a Rubik's Cube at 4 in less than 30
She's
seconds.
so
Hi, I'm Katie, and
beautiful.
none of that is to brag, by the way, because being a genius has brought me more misery than I would wish on my worst enemy. Yeah,
Really?
I actually have a worst enemy, and you're about to find out who she is. But
Is
first,
that your
please like and subscribe.
sister?
My father was a famous actor who starred in a ton of action movies. He fell
Yeah?
in love with my mother, a jewelry designer. She designed the engagement ring he intended to give to another woman,
so
but he broke off that
beautiful.
relationship to be with my mother. I know, messed up, right? When I was
Yeah.
5, I was being dragged around the world to movie sets where my father would show me off like some freak Einstein circus monkey. Daddy, I need to pee.
You can only go after you tell everyone who the 5th, 16th, 25th, and 40th presidents were.
Come on,
She's
Paul.
only a
He
little
really needs to
girl.
go.
She can go as soon as she answers the question.
She's only a little.
Monroe, Abraham Lincoln, William McKinley, and then I peed. The entire movie's cast and crew burst out laughing, and I was completely humiliated. My mother finally had enough and divorced him, taking me back to her hometown. I would love to say things got better there, but believe it or not, they only got worse. Like, a lot worse. My mom opened a jewelry store, which took up all of her time, so she got me a nanny who had a daughter named Scarlett. Scarlett was 4 years older than me and was really dumb. Just to give you an idea of how dumb she was, when her mom told her that carrots helped her see in the dark, she went outside at night and tried to use one as a flashlight. Scarlett didn't like that I was so much smarter than her, so her favorite activity was torturing me, like hanging me out the window by my ankles, filling my pillowcase with spiders, and replacing my cereal with dog treats. How's your cereal, Katie? Maybe afterward we can go play fetch. Except I knew what my cereal looked like and switched our bowls when she wasn't looking. My mom put me in kindergarten, but it was way too easy for me. While the other kids were playing with finger paint, I was doing math equations. As much as I hated being in school, I hated being home more because of Scarlett. I tried to tell my mom that Scarlett had a secret weapon. But Mommy, I hate her. She tried to put my book in the toilet. Scarlett, is that true? The one thing that Scarlett was good at, besides bullying, was acting. Never! It really hurts my feelings when Katie says these things. Scarlett could cry on command. I mean, like, full-on sobbing. Mom, she's... But I couldn't even finish my sentence before my mom was comforting Scarlett. There, it's okay. No matter what happened, I'm sure you two can work it out, right? And then Scarlett ran and hugged me. Aw, that's wonderful. I'm going to work. See you two besties tonight. And the second my mom was gone, my book was in the toilet. And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, they did. The school's principal skipped me to the 3rd grade. Guess with who? You've got it. Freaking Scarlett. Yeah, she was left back a year because, as we already established, was really dumb. When I got to high school, I was too old to have a nanny, so my mom hired Scarlett's mother to help her run her jewelry store and let them stay in our house because she felt like they were family now. Yay. At school, Scarlett would play awful pranks on me, like putting laxatives in my lunch or filling my hand sanitizer with super sticky glue. One night, I sat out in the backyard crying. I just wanted to be normal. I feel sorry for her. Then, through the guest house window, I saw something unbelievable. Scarlett was watching Mean Girls and acting out the part. They say you're a homeschooled jungle freak who's a less hot version of me. She was actually really good, but then she turned and looked right at me. Oh no, I sprinted back to my room. I was up all night, terrified about what Scarlett was going to do to me. The next day at school, Scarlett just stared non-stop at me in our first period class. As soon as the bell rang, I sprinted out of the classroom and hid in the janitor's closet.
This is my closet.
Oh, hi.
Go find your own.
I nearly jumped out of my skin. I turned on the light to find a boy sitting in a chair with his feet up on the wall. His hair was long and messy, his clothes were too big, and he had like 20 earrings. He was Wesley, the school weirdo. The rumor was that his family was homeless.
He looks good.
Yeah, Scarlett, right?
Yeah, I think she may actually kill me.
She's just a sad girl, just like my sister, Alice.
Your sister?
Yeah, believe it or not, Alice makes Scarlett look like an angel.
That's horrible. Wait, why are you in here?
It's my place to get away from everyone. I hate drama.
Wow, I totally get that. People are so...
Petty? Judgmental? Mean?
Yes, I'm Katie, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm a pretty good observer.
Just with that, Wesley and I became best friends. I felt like a total jerk. I
So
always thought he was
cute.
just a weirdo, but he was the first person who actually understood me. For the next few weeks,
They both
Wesley and I spent more
understand
and more
having
time
someone
together.
that
We helped me
was
get away from
mean.
Scarlet. Wesley knew every hiding place in the school, under the stairs, in
That's
the
good.
attic. There was even an old broken service elevator. I had no idea. For a while, things were looking up. And then one night, something incredible happened. I received a letter from one of the top universities in the country. They wanted me to attend
Really?
next
That's
year.
good
And were
for...
scheduling an interview at my house. I would finally be rid of Scarlet
I'm
for
worried
good.
about
I couldn't wipe the smile off my
Scarlet.
face. I wanted to celebrate, but Wesley would never meet me outside of school. There was always an excuse, but this time I wasn't taking no for an answer. I tracked down his address online and went there. I figured we would pull up to a homeless shelter, but we turned into the driveway of the biggest mansion I had ever seen. I rang the bell,
Really?
and this really pretty girl with perfect makeup opened the door. Whatever you're selling, we don't want any. Oh, I'm not selling anything. I'm here to see Wesley. Does he live here? Hey, loser! Someone is actually here to see you. What do you want with my loser brother? Oh, you're Alice, Wesley's demon sister.
Katie, what are you doing here?
Hi. Wow, Wesley. Is a real girl coming here to take you out? There must be something seriously wrong with her.
Leave us alone, Alice.
Wesley took me to his room, which was filled with books and other cool
Wow,
things. He even had a
so
VR
awesome.
experience, and we got to dive in the deep sea with sharks, whales, and all kinds of marine animals. It
I
was
got a
so cool.
headset.
But just as we were about to approach a giant squid, the game got too real. Suddenly, a wave of water drenched us from top to bottom. We took off our
What
visors,
the-
and there was Alice, holding a huge bucket of water and laughing her head off.
Alice, what the heck?
Only improving your immersive experience. You're welcome, guys. Before we could respond, Alice had already vanished, and Wesley's RV was ruined. As we dried off in the bathroom, I looked at Wesley angrily. How can Scarlet and Alice be so hateful? What is wrong with them?
Alice and I were close when we were kids, but then my mom forced her into beauty pageants and would always criticize her when she lost. It changed her, and now she's like this.
Like Alice alone wasn't enough, Scarlet hadn't forgotten about me spying on her. She was like a snake, just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. And on the morning of the big interview at my house, she found it.
Well, Katie, we feel that you will be a perfect
That's
addition to our
good.
university, and it is my honor to offer you.
Oh, Katie! Just as the recruiter was about to make me the offer, Scarlet walked in. My entire body froze. Oh, sorry. Is this a bad time? I'm Scarlet, Katie's bestie. Hi, bestie. Can you please come back later? I would, but I have my math test coming up and need that special sheet you always give me with all the answers. I have the money, I swear.
She pays you to give her the answers to your tests?
No.
That's not true. She's lying.
Okay, I think we are done here.
Please, don't listen to her. I've never cheated in my life. Me neither. And that was the end of it. Scarlet won. Did I scare your little college recruiter off? Oopsie. I was so angry, I just exploded. You are a horrible, horrible human being. In fact, I wouldn't even call you human. You are a monster. The next morning, as I was going to my locker, a crowd was around someone. Wesley walked up to me, and he looked as depressed as I was.
Did you see? We have a new student.
When the crowd cleared, I saw
Oh.
who our new student was. It was
Oh, it's Alice.
She got expelled from her all-girls school, so my mother was able to bribe our school to take
Oh,
her in.
And then
no.
she saw me and Wesley, came over and turned to the crowd. We're going to have a lot of fun here together. Now you can't avoid me. Alice laughed like a true Disney villain and left with her new group of followers.
I guess I'll just have to wait for her to add this school to her expulsion collection.
You know what? No, I've had enough of these bullies. We are gonna fight back.
No, Katie, just ignore them. We can't fight with them.
They are older, stronger, and meaner, but we are smarter. We are not gonna fight them ourselves, Wesley. We're gonna make them fight each other.
I'm listening.
We may
Yeah,
not
let
be able
them
to change
fight
them,
each
but we
other.
maybe can redirect their hate. I told Wesley
Yeah.
the rest of my plan, and he agreed to join me. We were going to make our bullies mortal enemies. First of all, we sent a little welcome to our school gift to Alice from Scarlet. Oh my God, is this the new Da Vinci? It wasn't. Wesley simply took the empty bottle from her trash. This is my favorite perfume. But I guess you could call it perfume. It certainly had a memorable fragrance. Alice put it on
Ew.
and immediately realized it was not her favorite Da Vinci. Yuck! Ugh, this smells like skunk. Actually, it was a nasty mix of fermented anchovies, spoiled cheese, and overripe cabbage. But yeah, just as bad as skunk and even
Yeah.
harder to get off. Exactly at the same
Ew.
time, we printed a fake version of the school newspaper, which Alice had just begun to run. And in a very special edition, we crowned Scarlet as the champion of, well, everything on the worst list. From fashion disasters to bad hair days, makeup mishaps,
Oh, dear.
terrible classmates, and the worst student overall. You name it, she snagged the title. As soon as she saw it, Scarlet burst into flames and went in search of Alice. They met in the middle of the hallway. The tension was so intense that it felt like a Dragon Ball Z battle. This is war! And thus the war began. And believe me, they pulled out their heavy weapons. Their pranks were, let's say, pretty original. Alice kicked things off by spreading the rumor that Scarlet was really a 40-year-old divorcee posing as a teenager. That doesn't make any sense. Scarlet fired back bluntly and traditionally, vandalizing Alice's Barbie car and, brace for impact, painting it black. No! That's not even a real color! Alice carried out her revenge following the old rules of the glitter warfare. She hid a glitter bomb in Scarlet's locker, and when she opened it, she turned the entire hallway into an impromptu disco party. It took Scarlet weeks to get all the glitter off her. And how could we forget the time that Scarlet locked Alice in the bath with a little mouse?
Wow.
Next level torture right there. Of course, like top-tier bullies, they occasionally ditched their sophisticated tactics for some classic down-and-dirty hand-to-hand combat. Yet the best part of my master plan was that they were good to us, even though it was just to infuriate the other. It's amazing what hate can lead to.
You're truly a genius.
I should be modest, but I can't. I am a genius. Our era of prosperity and peace incredibly lasted for a year. However, as usual, nothing good.
Yeah, never
when it seemed
good.
that this beautiful war would continue for generations, Alice delivered a precise and lethal blow. Somehow she got her hands on a video of Scarlet performing in the toilet, just as I had seen her months before at home in front of her TV. She made it viral at school, and Scarlet became a laughingstock. The war was over, and Alice had won it.
Oh dear, oh no.
Cheer like that, but you guys get the point. When I got home, Scarlet was still crying, and the waterfalls didn't slow down for days. She even stopped going to school because she was so embarrassed. I had finally beaten my bully, but surprisingly, I didn't feel great. On the contrary, I felt sorry for her, and so very, very guilty. Not because she didn't have it coming. She had it coming. Oh boy, did she have it coming. Still, the feeling of being the one causing her tears felt horrible, even worse than when I was the one crying because of her evil deeds. So I decided to come clean and face the consequences of my actions. Scarlet, go away! The scream was frightening enough to give me second thoughts about confessing, but I carried on. I have something to tell you. After confessing all about my plan, I closed my eyes and waited for my punishment. I hope this is quick and painless, or at least just quick. I waited a few seconds, but nothing happened. I opened my eyes and looked at Scarlet. Aren't you gonna murder me? I should, but I kind of get why you did it. It's not fun at all to be on the receiving end. No, it isn't. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know what it is. Don't make me say it. Yeah, I know. Me too.
I know,
for what it's worth, I think you have a real talent as an actress. You think so? Totally. You had my mom believing you were an innocent angel for years. Not even Zendaya could pull off a character like that. Aw, thanks. Then something unprecedented began taking place. Scarlet and I went in for a hug. However, just as we were about to make it happen, nope, that's too much. You did ruin my life, and you ruined my future. Call it even? Sure. The following weeks were pretty good,
that's
actually.
good.
Scarlet called the college recruiter and
just
explained
slowly.
everything. I'm going to college. I'm going to college. I'm
Good
going
on
to college.
you, girl.
As a thank you, I showed the tape of Scarlet acting to my dad, and he got her a small role in his next movie. When word of that got around the school, Scarlet got noticed again, but this time for good. Even better, she became part of our little crew. Wesley, it's time you also stand up for yourself against your sister. By now, Alice had assembled an army of plastic girls and drooling boys who would do anything she said. And with no rival, Alice went back to making Wesley's life miserable until one day during lunch in the cafeteria, Alice walked up to Wesley and acted like she had stumbled, making all of her food spill onto him.
Oh my
Wesley
goodness.
stood up and pulled out an old photo from his wallet and showed it to Alice.
See this picture, Alice? It's from when you won your first beauty pageant. Look how happy we both look here.
Yes, I look pretty, unlike your dorky face. In a moment of frustration, Wesley tore the picture into pieces, shocking Alice. How dare you?
I always missed your younger self, Alice.
Yes.
And I hoped you would go back to being my lovely sister, but I guess you chose to be a witch, and I'm done waiting or being patient.
Alice tried to push Wesley away, but he held her hand tightly and firmly.
You really thought you're stronger than me, Alice? I never touched you because I respected you as my big sister.
You're hurting me!
I'll hurt you more if you don't back off.
My friends are around me. Guys, you know what to do. But just as Alice's friends were about to step in, Scarlet and I appeared from behind Wesley. And we know what to do too. The kids behind Alice began to look scared and uncertain while she stomped her feet in frustration.
Yeah,
Fine.
you don't
talk to me and I won't talk to you.
Sounds good to me.
With that, Alice left and we all hugged, knowing we had finally stood up to the bullies.
I learned from the best.
It's always good to have friends that'll help you out. The next one in my story anime thing is called I Have a Psycho Stalker. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Kayla. Please
Hey,
like
Kayla.
and subscribe to MSA while I tell you my story. My whole life, I've been a book nerd. Stories are my escape into new worlds where I can fight dragons on the top of the highest mountains or move cars out of my way using my mind. However, in real life, I'm virtually invisible and usually powerless in the face of danger.
Hey, watch where you're going, geek.
Sorry.
What's the point of those dumb glasses if you can't see anything?
Thankfully, help was never too far behind.
Ow! You hurt my head!
That was the idea. Now imagine what I can do with all these.
Oh my goodness.
Are you okay? I am now. Hey, is that Harry Potter? I love that book. You know, I think we're gonna be best friends. That was the first day I met Faye, and she was right. We instantly bonded over our love of reading, and I was forever in awe of her confidence. Everyone, make way. Your queen is coming through. She proved to me that being into books did not mean you had to be timid. And that ends my presentation on why every Friday should be pizza day at the cafeteria. While Faye's life was forever blasting out loud, I felt like something was missing from mine. I'd read so many romantic tales of a prince riding into town, conquering the angry monsters just to be with the one he loves. And then I wonder, is my prince ever gonna come and save me? Snap out of it, Kayla. Huh? Look around you. These boys are no match for your intellect. They're all stinky and stupid.
Speak for yourself, nerds. That's why you weren't invited to the big house party this weekend.
Your fly is undone.
Oh, oops.
You see what I mean, Kayla? Is that the prince you were looking for? Yeah, maybe you're right. Except I really did want to go to that house party. I knew there was no way that was going to happen. Or at least, that's what I thought, until everything changed one day as I was looking for a book in the library. Hey, what's this? Looks like a secret compartment. Pull it up. Whoa! Hidden beneath the shelf was a dusty book we'd never seen before. I blew on it and read its title, The Secrets to Get Boys to Fall in Love with You. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. No wonder somebody hid it. Look at this stuff. How to dress for a man, how to talk to a man. I wonder if it works. Who cares? Shove it back where you found it. Actually, I think we should try it out. What? You can't be serious. I am. We could test it out tonight at the house party. Think of it as a social experiment.
Kayla, you don't need to change what you like.
I do love a
You
social
just
experiment.
find
All right,
someone that's
I'm
like
in. After
you.
school, we rush to my house and follow the book by the letter. Always wear bright red lipstick for attention. Check. Clip in hair extensions for more bouncy hair. Check. Learn how to walk correctly by balancing books on your head. Check. Use your meals to digest them faster. Check. Ugh. Lift weights to tone your figure. I'm exhausted. Don't sit down. You'll get chair butt. And according to this book, boys hate chair butt. Ugh. Eyelashes, short skirts, pink everything, and
Poor girl,
ta-da!
she's so
We
tired.
look like completely different people. More like complete bimbos. I didn't care what Faye said. I was super excited. And when we arrived at the party, everyone was looking at us, and I felt seen for the first time.
Hey there, good looking. Can I get you some punch?
I'll give you a punch. Faye,
Faye,
remember the
she
book?
meant a
Like,
drink.
oh my gosh, I would
Give it-
totally love some punch. Duh. Once alone, I scanned the room looking for my prince. And oh my god, there he was. He was the most beautiful boy I had ever seen. Tall, muscular, well-dressed, and looking so cool. I wanted to go over there, but I remembered what the book said. Chapter 13, don't pester boys. Rather, stand against a wall and look mysterious, and they'll come to you. And so, that's what I did. But unfortunately, it attracted the wrong guy.
Excuse me, miss. My name is Ricardo. And let me a radiant vision of sunbeam perfection.
Oh, thanks.
Please, let's swap numbers.
Okay.
Now, watch my
Oh my
superb dance
goodness.
moves.
This weird dude distracted me with the most bizarre dance in the world. And when I looked over, my prince was gone. And then Faye came up to me. We have to go. Wait, I need to find someone first.
Hey, that's the girl that dumped the guacamole bowl on
What
my head.
Like I
the?
said, we have
Faye,
to go now.
why
We
did
ran
you?
away
What
as fast as we
happened?
could, but I turned just in time to see Ricardo blowing kisses after me. Ugh. Ugh. But hey, at least we knew the book worked. The next day, I woke up to 100 messages from Ricardo. Some of them were sweet, but others were a little creepy. Like when he sent selfies of himself with roses in his teeth, or pictures of sketches he'd made of me. And there were a lot of them. Of course, I was just gonna ignore him. I was still hung up on finding the dream boat from the party, and I decided something else that weekend. I liked my new look and how other people looked at me. But on Monday at school, Faye didn't see it the same way. Excuse me, Miss Barbie, why are you still bimbo-fied? I think I want to try this out for a while. It makes me feel different, except it makes you look just like every other bimbo here. Can you stop calling me that, please? You know, I think we didn't fully commit to our social experiment, so let's read a few more chapters and then go to the arcade tonight. Why would we do that? Just then, as I opened my locker, an avalanche of teddies and gifts and love letters poured to the floor. Looks like Ricardo found me. Whoa, wait a minute. I'm starting to get the picture. You think you're actually gonna get your prince this way, don't you? You mean this guy? I don't even like him. Please, just come to the arcade. Do it for me, Faye. Hard pass. I'll be at the library where the smart people usually are. You're on your own. I hated to see Faye so annoyed, but I figured she'd get over it. Besides, I needed to continue my mission. That night, I read a few more chapters and then went to the arcade alone, where all the popular kids hung out. I felt super nervous by myself and considered leaving when...
Hey, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to play something?
Oh my gosh, it was the hunk I saw at the party, and he was talking to me. Think quick, Kayla. What did the book say? Oh yes, chapter 7. Always laugh at boys' jokes. You're so funny.
Thanks. My name's Lloyd. Are you waiting to play this claw game?
Chapter 20. Be the damsel in distress. Oh, it's too complicated for me.
Oh, here, I'll show you. The trick is all about timing.
Like, oh wow, you're so good at that. Thank you.
Sure thing. Would you like to get ice cream?
Uh-oh. Chapter 3. Avoid fatty desserts. How about a low-fat milkshake instead? As we shared a vegan milkshake, Lloyd started telling me about his life. He was a part-time model, but his true passion was volunteering at the children's hospital. I mean, can someone be more perfect? I gazed into his eyes, and then we both moved forward to sip our straws at the same time. Our faces were so close, I almost thought he might kiss me, when suddenly my phone rang, and it was my mom telling me to come home immediately. Apparently, my grandma had broken her hip, and my parents needed to go out of town to see her. Since I couldn't miss school, they asked me to stay with Faye for a few days. I know the timing isn't great, and you're mad at me. Don't be silly. What are friends for? You packed all that makeup to bring over? Since when do you even have so much makeup? I went shopping yesterday. And what is this ridiculous bag? Wait, I've seen all the cheerleaders carrying this lately. Are you gonna start waving pom-poms in my face next? Faye, is me staying over gonna be a problem? No, of course not. Fine, I won't say anything. Although, the amount of money you spent on that makeup could run a soup kitchen for a year. Okay, I'm done now. But she really wasn't. She stared at me disapprovingly every day as we headed out for school. She huffed away angrily whenever any of the popular girls gave me compliments or invited me to sit with them at recess. And she gave me the silent treatment as I headed out for the arcade in the evenings. I'd met up with Lloyd there a couple more times, and I thought it was going well. Just as we were sharing another milkshake, we almost came close to kissing again, when suddenly, hey, bestie, I thought I'd find you here. Ooh, aren't you gonna introduce me to this hunky monkey? Faye was here, and she was dressed by the book too? Lloyd Faye Lloyd. That's such a manly name. So Lloyd, can you show me how the photo booth works?
That is meanie.
So confusing.
Can't you be a good nice for your friend?
Faye was trying to steal the spotlight from me.
Can't you be kind to your friend, Faye?
Wow, look at these photos. We'd make such a cute couple for sure.
If you say so.
Oh, Lloyd, let's have a dance battle.
All right.
Oh, Lloyd, let's sing karaoke.
Faye.
Oh, Lloyd, let's get some cotton candy.
Sure.
Oh, Lloyd, let's shoot some zombies.
Can do.
Oh, Lloyd, let's break the basketball high score.
Poor Lloyd.
No, Lloyd, let's trade some prizes for our tickets.
Poor Lloyd.
Oh, please, Lloyd.
Ow.
Lloyd, this
Lloyd's
way.
getting Lloyd.
Come on, Lloyd.
You're hurting him.
I don't know what's happening here, but it's freaking me out.
It's not me. It's her. She's a phony. Me? You're the phony. Look at her.
What the heck? Look, I don't know what's going on here, but you two clearly have some serious issues, and I don't want to get in the middle of it. Goodbye.
No, Lloyd, come back. I can explain. Wait, Kayla, don't be a fool. Suddenly, I heard a loud crack and turned to see Faye tumble to the floor. Ow, these dumb heels. Faye, are you okay? I think I broke my ankle. Call an ambulance. As we went waited for the ambulance, Faye turned to me angrily. This is all your fault. Me? You're the one who thinks all boys are trash, but then you just show up here to hit on Lloyd and ruin my chances with him? What's wrong with you? I don't want Lloyd. I was just trying to show you the mirror by acting like you. You look pathetic trying to be someone you're not just to make some stranger like you. I thought we were the cool, smart ones who don't care about what's on the outside. If you don't care about that, why does it bother you how I choose to dress or what I put on my face? You know what? You're just so used to bossing me around, you're pissed off I'm doing something on my own that you don't agree with. Fine, be a wannabe bimbo. We can't be friends then. Thanks for letting me know that our friendship is conditional on me always listening to you. The ambulance arrived and took Faye away. I didn't want to go to her place right away, so I went to my own house to cry it out. But to my shock, I found my room was overflowing with gifts from Ricardo. Heart-shaped balloons, bouquets, and dozens of teddy bears. This was all too much. And when I looked in the mirror, I didn't even recognize myself. I had lost my chances with Lloyd, and things with Faye were all messed up. Plus, these new clothes were so uncomfortable. And that's when I realized all these troubles started with the book. I opened it up to the final chapter and read in horror. Chapter 31, Charm Boys by cleaning up after their mess. Chapter 32, make boys sandwiches when they are sad. This was not a magic guide to romance. This was the most sexist book in the world. And I had been such an idiot. I needed to make it right. The next day, I returned to the arcade, only this time as boring old Kayla. Excuse me, Lloyd?
Hey, Kayla?
Yeah, this is how I really look, and I'm just here to apologize. I've been acting like somebody I'm not, which isn't cool or fair to you.
Seems like you have some self-work to do.
Most definitely. Okay, well, sorry again. Goodbye.
Hold on. Do you want to get a milkshake?
As long as it's full fat. The rest of the evening, we played arcade games and then went for a romantic walk by the river. And Lloyd seemed to like me for me. I went home on cloud 9 that night, and when I woke up the next morning, I was determined to fix everything else, starting with Faye. I just wanted to apologize. You're right. I shouldn't have to change anything about myself to get noticed or be liked by anyone. Kayla, I owe you an apology too. To be honest, I just got jealous and insecure. I mean, you're out there trying to find your Prince Charming. Well, I'm perfectly happy just the two of us in the library. I just didn't want anything to change. We can have both, Faye. You'll always be my bestie. No matter who else comes into my life, I can handle that. As long as whoever he is appreciates the Kayla that I know. Deal? Deal.
Deal. Oh,
It's
no.
me, Ricardo. I've been searching
Oh,
for you for days.
shoot.
Why are you ignoring my gifts?
There was something crazy in his eye. Ricardo, you're coming on too strong. You broke into my house to leave me gifts, and now you're following me around? We don't even know each other.
But we can spend our whole lives getting to know each other.
I don't
We're
like
meant to
you.
be. I love you.
I don't
Catch
like
a hint,
you.
dude. She doesn't like you.
No, I will not rest until you.
Oh, shoot.
Ricardo grabbed me by the wrist, and I was about to panic.
Where's Lloyd? Where's Lloyd? Oh, thank goodness, Lloyd.
Sounded like a fairy tale in a romance novel, but now that it was actually happening, I didn't like it one bit. And that's when I rememred the book, The Whack.
Ow!
She whacked him.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Cry,
This
baby.
book came to some good use. Girl, I am so proud of you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Way to go, girl. So this one I've got now is that my shocking story of living in a haunted house. So let's get to it.
Hi, I'm Rose from
Hey.
Austria. Before I tell you my story,
Hey,
please like
Rose.
and subscribe to MSA. I grew up in a huge mansion with my parents,
So
grandparents,
cute.
aunt, and lots of maids. We were rich, and my life was practically perfect, especially
Yeah.
because I had the best mom ever who spoiled me
Aw,
rotten. Like when I was 6 and went to school wearing a fairy costume for a
Aw,
month.
that's
It
so
was against the
cute.
dress code, but somehow mom convinced the teachers to make an exception. And when I was 8, I wanted a big dollhouse. So mom got one constructed in our backyard, big enough to fit a
That's
family
cute.
of humans. I loved having mom around, and she was a
Yeah.
very kind and sweet person, but she was a bit peculiar. You see, mom was fascinated by everything paranormal and thought she could communicate with ghosts. No one in our family thought it was a big deal, till one day when I was 10, mom and dad had a fight, and dad left. Who needs humans when you have a million ghosts to keep you company?
You're insane! Go hug your invisible friends! I'm out of here!
After dad
Wow.
left, mom became obsessed with her hobbies and spent hours locked in the room talking to herself. But one night, she lit too many candles and caused a fire, which burned down half of the mansion. My
Oh my
grandparents
goodness.
were furious and asked Mom to leave. Mom and I moved to a smaller place, and even though we had enough to live comfortably, it was nothing compared to our life before, and it really affected me. Look, I bought you a new doll. This is a rag doll, Mom.
Oh my goodness!
Take that away from me. But sweetie, I made this for you. Well, you wouldn't have to waste your time if you didn't burn down my old toys. Mom looked at me sadly before leaving, and I felt bad, but I was a kid, and I really missed my old life. I thought Mom would eventually give up her obsession, and we would move back to our old home, but she only got weirder. Like when I was 12, a weird lady showed up at our door offering her fortune-telling services. Wow, the universe must have sent you. Please, come in. Mom and the lady sat down for a reading, and halfway through, the lady started communicating with spirits. The table started shaking, and Mom looked amazed. What do the spirits want? Oh, they're upset. So very upset. You burnt their old house down, and now they're homeless. They are invisible, right? They can stay in the White House and no one will know. Child, you make fun of spirits? How dare you? The weird woman got up and started jumping on one leg, chanting things. Mom joined in too, and the whole thing just looked ridiculous. Anyway, soon after, she left, and the next day, Grandpa showed up for a surprise visit, and Mom told him about what had happened. Now, I just need to find a way to please the spirits, and
I can't believe you're still looking into these things. I wanted to give you another chance, but you haven't changed a bit.
Saying that, Grandpa left, and Mom cried all night. Why can't you just let these spirits go, Mom? I really want to move in with Nana and Papa. I miss them. No way. You saw what happened with the medium. I'm not putting them in danger again. So you'd rather make us live like street rats? Come on, Mom. This is not real. That weird lady, medium, whatever, she was tricking you. I'm not discussing this, Rose. Go to your room. That's when I realized the only way to get Mom out of this paranormal world was to convince her that there was no such thing as ghosts. While she spent time and money on psychics, seminars, and meditation retreats, I did research to debunk her beliefs. There is no scientific basis for crystal healing. The Bermuda Triangle has finally been explained. Most ghost activities can be traced back to change in temperature, electromagnetic interference, or... Mom, are you listening? Oh no, it's the unholy hour. I can't talk now. Bye. Mom just wasn't paying attention to me, and things got worse when one day I invited a couple of friends over for a sleepover. Everything was going well until it was nighttime, and Mom walked into my room with candles and crystals. It's a full moon tonight. Tell me, girls, when was the last time you got a cleanse? She forced me and my friends to sit in a circle while she smoked us with incense. I was so embarrassed. Of course, nobody came to my place after that, and while I couldn't have my friends over, psychics kept showing up at her door. Some of them even became Mom's friend and stayed for days with us. I'd given up hope until one day while I was going home, I heard some kids talking about a dare at the local haunted house, and they gave me the perfect idea. If I exposed this local ghost story, then maybe Mom would finally believe me. I asked the kids if I could join in, and they agreed. And that night, while Mom was asleep, I quietly got into the house with the rest of the group. But 5 minutes into the exploration, I heard a blood-chilling scream from the upstairs room. I followed it, only to discover one of the boys panicking.
There's something here. It knocked that vase. It's a ghost.
That's not a ghost. It's a mouse. I picked up the mouse by its tail, and the boy let out a wilder scream. He went running downstairs, and the rest of the group saw him, and they all started running around like headless chickens. One by one, they all ran outside until I was left alone. So I sat on a dusty couch and took a nap. The next day, word spread around the school that I stayed in the haunted house all night, and I became popular overnight. Soon other people wanted to join me on my ghost adventures, and so we formed a club. And by the time I was 15, my paranormal investigation club was super popular. I had a lot of fun with it and solved all kinds of stuff, including some alien and Bigfoot sightings. Life was somewhat okay, except Mom was still a lost cause. One day, Mom and I were coming back home from a shopping trip when we noticed a new store. Mom walked in, and I was talking to the woman who was running the place when a boy around my age walked up to me.
Bonjour. Can I show you something?
Hi.
Those stress lines do not look good on a pretty face like yours. How about some incense for meditation? An amethyst pendant to relieve stress?
No thanks. Oh, Rosie, that's a cute pendant. No, it's not. It's hideous. Let's go home, Mom. I stormed out of the store without waiting a second longer. The bad luck seemed to follow me because the next day at school, I ran into the same guy from the store. He was surrounded by some girls and was selling them
I wonder
weird
who
little
he
bottles.
is.
What's that?
Oh, hello, sweet Rosie. You smell divine. I'm Ed, by the way.
Leave her
I'm
alone.
Rose for you. What did you give them?
Love potions to tingle the romantic bones that are clearly missing from your body.
Shut up.
Oh
You're
my
scamming
goodness,
innocent
that's
girls.
rude.
I'll have to report you to the principal.
No, por favor. Why don't you see for yourself first? If they don't work, you know where to find me.
Saying that, Ed winked at me and left. What a weirdo. Anyway, I agreed to wait a couple of days just to see if the stupid potion worked. And to my surprise, all the girls who used that got a date with their crush. I couldn't believe it. I had to talk to Ed and found him in the cafeteria cracking a raw egg in his salad.
Ew, gross.
Some salad?
No thanks.
No,
I
thank
don't
you.
want that.
Yeah.
Tell me about the love potions.
It's a trade secret, obviously.
Or maybe that potion gave them a bit of confidence and everything else was pure luck.
You can't prove that, can you, Shelley?
I was furious. Now that I think of it, all
Don't
of those girls were
spit
very
on her.
pretty, but a bit shy. Of course it worked. A few days went by, and I decided to avoid Ed. I already had my fair share of weird with Mom, and I didn't want another piece of work. Soon enough, it
She
was time
smacked
for college.
his
I was
face.
filling out my college application one night, and Mom walked into my room with the amethyst pendant from the other day. What's this for? It's pretty. It reminds me of your eyes. This was kind of expensive, Mom. Are you sure you can afford this? Of course I can. And while we're talking about money, I have something to talk about. That's when Mom
What
told
is
me
it?
that she actually had nothing saved for my college and suggested that I should ask my grandparents for my college fund. There's
Oh
no way
my
they'll listen to me,
goodness.
but I'm sure they'll help you. So all these years, you didn't consider that I had to go to college? How could you be so selfish? I gave you everything you need, and I know your grandpa won't hesitate to give you more money. But do you think I have any chance of getting more funds for my research? I can't believe you're still thinking about that, Mom. You're seriously crazy. I wish I could have just left with Dad. Don't use that tone with me, Rose. Actually, I'd rather not use any tone with you. Shut up, and don't forget, I'm your mom. You're the one who forgot. Saying that, I just stormed out of the house. I needed to clear my head, so I went for a walk around the neighborhood.
Well,
and I felt like someone was
she's
following
right.
me. I turned around and saw Ed right behind me.
Ed, what are you
Trying to
doing?
make sure the girl I like is safe. What are you doing roaming around the streets at this hour?
I was just, wait, did you say that you like me?
Well, obviously the love potion doesn't work on you, and neither do my hints. So I'll say it directly. Yes, Rosie, I like you. Now tell me what's wrong. You look stressed.
Ed and I sat down, and I ended up telling him
A
everything
lot
about my life,
has
including my
done.
recent conversation with Mom. I was pleasantly surprised to see that he was a good listener.
That's
That's
tough.
good.
I don't understand why Mom is so focused on the supernatural instead of trying to mend things with her family. It could really make our life easier, you know?
Maybe, but in her head, it's all real. I'm sure she has her reasons. She actually told my mom a while back how
Yeah.
she heard knocking and scratching in the walls, threatening messages appeared overnight, and she saw a white figure in her room once. This happened for years.
Oh, please. It was probably just her imagination.
Whatever it was, she's your mom, and you're the only person she
Yeah.
can fall back on.
Maybe Ed was right, but I couldn't just forgive Mom so easily. Being weird is something, and being an irresponsible mom is something else. The next morning, I took a
Maybe
bus
you
back to the
just
mansion,
talk
and it
to
was
her.
completely changed. As I walked towards the entrance, I was filled with nostalgia for my childhood. Then suddenly, I saw my Aunt Angelica, Mom's older sister. She saw me, came running, and pulled me into a hug. You've grown so much, my pretty Rose. So have you. I mean, you look amazing, Auntie. How have you been? I'm good. But why are you wearing these weird clothes? Come in. Let me set you up with a beautiful dress. Aunt took me inside, gave me a bunch of things to eat, and as we sat down, I told her all about Mom's spending problems and how now my studies were at risk. That's terrible. I knew my sister was weird, but I would have never thought she was this irresponsible. Don't worry, child. I'll take care of everything. I was over the moon with joy, and I immediately got to work sending out applications. Ed helped me a lot with filing my applications, and the more I hung out with
Yeah.
him, the more I liked him. It was a bit weird, but
But
at least he was there for me, unlike
that's-
Mom, who still refused to come back to the mansion. I'm happy you're having a good time there, but I don't think I'm welcome there. You won't know if you don't give it a shot. Isn't family more important than your dumb psychic research? Why can't you just listen to me for once? You have
Maybe
no
listen
idea what it
to your
means to be
mom.
treated
There's
like a
gotta
crazy person
be
by
some.
everyone, including your own parents. Stop playing the victim, Mom. You did this to yourself. Mom's face dropped, and I could see she was hurt. But I was so tired of her behavior, especially after seeing how amazing Aunt Angelica was with me. She had a very successful business and was willing to take me under her wing. And she spoke with Grandpa to renovate my old room. I was over the moon to get back to the mansion, wake up to breakfast in bed, take walks in the lush garden, and feel like a princess again. My college was nearby, and I even had a personal driver to take me there. Life was finally perfect, but I still missed Mom a lot. I only got to see her on weekends, and I tried my best to get her back home, but she wouldn't drop her stupid ego. Then one day, I was sorting out some old jewelry when I found the amethyst pendant Mom bought me a while ago. Suddenly, I felt my eyes well up. I decided to do something about the situation and turned to Ed for help.
Why don't you do what you're best known for? Solving paranormal stuff. You solved all the cases around here except that of your mother.
But that was years ago. How am I supposed to investigate that now?
You live in the
You
mansion.
can.
Try looking around.
Yeah,
Old
look
artifacts,
around.
Cold spots. Maybe something will turn up to prove that she was right, and her family will finally see that she wasn't crazy.
Even I'm not fully convinced with that, Ed. How will I convince others?
Have faith, pretty Bella.
Ed dropped me back home,
Yeah,
and
Ed's
I got to
right.
work. I didn't expect to find much, but that night, I waited for everyone to be asleep and tiptoed out of my room. I spent hours searching around the place, looking in the library, around the hallways, outside the perimeter of the house, but there was nothing suspicious. I was returning to my room defeated when my nightgown got tangled in one of the statues in the corridor. I tugged on the fabric, but it bent the statue's arm, and a panel in the wall nearby started opening. What the freaking frogs? A hidden passage? I turned on the flashlight on my phone, started recording, and walked along the dark corridor, which led straight to Mom's old room. And suddenly, everything made sense. This door opened from the other side of the hall, so it was possible for someone to slide into Mom's room every night and make those weird sounds, and even disguise as a ghost to freak her out. But who would do that? I was still lost in my thoughts when a flashlight blinded me, and what I saw blew my mind. Auntie? Rose, what are you doing here? Oh my God, it was you, right? You knew about this secret passage. Were you the ghost that haunted my mother? I saw her surprised mask fall, and an evil smirk appeared on her face. Well, what
I
can
knew
say?
something
Your mom
about
was
her
always
wasn't
too
right.
stupid
I
to
knew
figure
it.
out.
I
You
knew
probably took after your father. But why, Auntie? What did Mom ever do to you? She took everything from me. She was always the favorite child because she was younger and prettier. I did everything to get our parents' attention, but they didn't have time for me. I could still let go of that. But then she married the guy I liked, and I knew I couldn't take it anymore and worked out a plan. All I had to do was to show everyone how crazy she was, and she was stupid. She actually fell for it. You were in love with Dad? Please tell me you didn't have anything to do with their divorce. I may have given him evidence of your mom cheating, and while she was busy moping around, I amped up the hauntings, but the fire and everything were all her. You hated Mom, but you helped me? Why would you do that? To take away the last thing she had, of course. Wow, you're evil.
Yes,
Wait till I
she's
tell
so
Grandpa.
evil.
You can try, but you won't if you want the funds for your college to keep coming. Oh, don't you worry. I've learned a trick or two of my own. After all, we are related by blood. I waved the phone in front of my aunt while she looked at me in shock. She tried to snatch it, but I was fast and ran out of the house.
Run,
I asked Mom to come over and showed the video to her and my grandparents. They were shocked and decided to banish my aunt right there and then. I'm so sorry, Mom, for never believing you. I didn't give you a reason to trust me either, sweetie. So I guess it's a new start for us both. My grandparents apologized to Mom and sent my aunt away to the ancestral cottage in a far-off village. I asked Mom to move back in, but she just looked at me with sad eyes. I wish you could have trusted me instead of thinking I was crazy. It will take a while to forgive you guys, but Rose, I leave it up to you. It's okay, Mom. Let's go home. My grandparents felt guilty and kept funding my college. Mom and I still live in our small house, and we were closer than ever. Ed and I started dating officially, and he offered me a job at his store.
But at one condition. You'll have to wear this pendant. Only if you want to, of course.
Have you swiped it with a love potion?
I don't think I have to.
That'll be it for now, awesome fans. Don't forget to hit that like button and comment down below and subscribe. Have a nice day, awesome fans. Bye.